All right, welcome everyone to the Pinecrest Sloan Canyon New Family Information Night. We are so excited to have you joining our pirate family. Hope everyone is having a wonderful summer and is getting geared back up to start school. We're excited to see you. For a little bit of information about Sloan Canyon, we are a K-12 tuition-free public charter school, and this year is our first year being K-12. We will have our first graduating class this year, so it's a very exciting year, and it's a great year to join us. And the information in this presentation, we will be covering both elementary and secondary. So it will cover everything. So it's a lot of information, particularly if you only have students in one or the other, but a lot of it does pertain to all grade levels. And then when you look in Pirate Post, though, we do break down elementary and secondary information separately. There are tabs you can click on, but for today's purposes, we're going to cover our entire K-12 continuum. All right, a few introductions. My name is Lisa Satori. I'm so proud to be your principal, and this is my fourth year at Sloan Canyon. I opened the school and came previously from Pinecrest Horizon. And I'll say the names of our other administration. They are presenting, so I'll let them kind of introduce themselves as they start presenting. But we have Mr. Edward Savarese as elementary assistant principal. Jennifer Zarnecki, elementary assistant principal. So she's K2, Mr. Savarese is 3-5. We have Brittany Duran as secondary assistant principal for middle school. Stephanie Russell as secondary assistant principal for high school. Christopher Littman as assistant principal over special programs. Tina Lahr is our secondary dean. Casey Hayes is our student support advocate. All right, I always love to share our mission and vision because it's very important that our families know what is at the core of everything that we do. And I really want that to be something that is ingrained in our families of knowing what our mission and vision it is, because it has stayed the same since opening in 2012. So we have kept that same mission and vision. Our mission is that Pinecrest Academy of Nevada unites the community to prepare students for college and career. So particularly now that we're built out as a K-12, we are really seeing that mission come to life as we're starting to now see our students go off to college and career. And we had our first students go into our dual enrollment program this past year and headed to college and earning college credits. So we're really seeing that come to life. And our vision is that scholars perform at the highest level on all academic measures. And that is something we try to be very transparent with our families about every year as we get data, as we get that beginning year benchmark, mid-year benchmarks, end of year benchmarks, comparison data with neighboring schools. We really try in parent impact meetings to share that with you so you can see how we're performing compared to previous years, what kind of growth we're seeing across grade levels, and how we're comparing to nearby schools. All right, updates, some things that have been happening on campus over the summer and right at the end of the school year. So we have our campus is looking amazing. We've got everything cleaned, waxed, painted. It looks beautiful and ready to go to welcome our students. Next step, teachers come back August 1st, so they'll be setting up the classrooms and bulletin boards and making it look ready to go. And they will be doing all of their professional development in the first 2 weeks and getting ready. Our secondary gym was resurfaced this summer. So if you were here on campus last year, it was kind of looking a little worn just after a short amount of time. So we had it resurfaced so it looks beautiful and ready to go for sports. Volleyball actually is in there practicing today, so it's up and running again. Our Performing Arts Center is also up and running. We've hosted last year many performances and events and awards assemblies and like kinder and fifth grade graduation. So it is in full use and it looks amazing and it's a beautiful facility for our students. All right, uniforms. I know that's one of the things that's really on your mind right now because you're wanting to make sure you're ready for day one. So I'm going to go over, and all of this information too is on our website, but I'm going to go over some of the uniform requirements and I have some samples here. Hopefully you can see them, but so shirts. Now first, all of our uniform items are available at All Uniform Wear. I also have their address in a subsequent slide. But if you go to All Uniform Wear, they have an aisle. You tell them you're coming to Pinecrest Sloan Canyon. They will direct you to the right aisle. And then that way, you know, you can get what is on the acceptable list. So shirts, students are required to wear shirts. Now shirts look like this. They're a polo. They have Pinecrest Academy embroidered on it. They have that's ready to go when you pick them up at the store. It's already on there. Shirt colors can be navy. And some of ours that are coming from other Pinecrest, navy is accepted at all Pinecrest. So you may already have a navy one, and that's totally fine to continue to wear that one. Our campus is pirate blue, which is our one of our school colors. So that one is there, and gray and black. We do not utilize white polos. I had actually taken that away at Horizon just because of how terrible they look very quickly. They get very stained and just don't hold up well. So we removed white, but yes, navy, blue, gray, and black. And so like these though must be at the uniform store. You cannot go to say Target and then go try to have it monogrammed at the uniform store or embroidered at the uniform store. These must be purchased there. And I was told that they have gotten a shipment in. They continue periodically to get new shipments. So if you're missing a size or a color, usually you can go back in a week or two and continue to pick up as they get shipments in. You can wear a long sleeve shirt in those same colors under. So, and that can be picked up anywhere, but it must be solid. So as it starts getting colder, they can wear a long sleeve shirt underneath. It doesn't have any kind of logos or stripes or anything like that, but those must be in uniform colors. And moving on to pants, shorts, skirts, and jumpers. So pants must be a slack style. They must be like a slack uniform one. Now these they do have at the uniform store. So obviously if you get it there, you know it is uniform compliant, but you may also get these at other vendors. So you can go to Target or Walmart or online and purchase uniform pants. Now they must be in navy, tan, or black. So those are the colors, and make sure that the tan is this kind of light khaki color. Now, if it must be a slack style, if it's particularly form fitting or spandex looking, those would not be acceptable. Shorts and skirts must be at least fingertip length, and must not be cutoffs. There are some cute skirts that they have at the uniform store. They have a plaid one. It's like a blue and gray and white plaid. The girls really like that. It's a really cute skirt. And so that's acceptable. There's also black and tan options for skirts as well at the uniform store. So those are accepted. There's also some jumpers available, but the jumpers must be monogrammed and purchased from the uniform store. And now as it starts getting colder as well, you'll see leggings and tights down a little bit lower. Leggings and tights in those same colors, navy, white. Tights can be white. Navy, white, gray, or black. You can wear tights under the skirts. The skirts are the jumpers. And so that's a great option for, especially as it gets colder. And if they want to continue to wear their skirts, and so, some don't like the slacks, so they continue to wear the skirts still in the colder months and just put the leggings on. Leggings, however, cannot be worn as a pant. So it has to be worn under a skirt. Socks must be solid color. So the solid navy, white, gray, or black, solid color and matching, and cannot be worn above the knee as like a knee-high type. So solid color shorts in uniform colors, or solid color socks in uniform colors. All right, and our goal really with the standard student attire is, one, it eliminates a lot of bullying and student issues and conflict of people. We really want the focus to be on academics. They're here to learn. I want them focusing on the content, on instruction. So, and in addition to that, there's a few other things in our Dress for Success policy, that hair must be natural color. So it must be of a natural color. Some do color, there's other color that are still a natural color, and that is okay, but it must be a natural color. Mohawks, really distracting styles, can be something that may be prohibited depending on if it's a distraction to the learning environment. Jackets must be an official Pinecrest jacket to be worn inside the building. Now they can wear they're walking to and from school. Once they get to school, they can wear a different jacket, but once they walk in the building, it has to be the standard student Pinecrest jacket. And that these are from the uniform store. They're also logoed. These come in a few different colors and options. There's a couple different types of material. There's black, navy, there's hooded, not hooded. So you have some options there, but it does need to be from the uniform store if they're going to wear it in the classroom. And we also have another option that a lot of students really like, is we have a spirit store on our website. And there's some really kind of cute hoodies and things that the students like to pick up, that those are acceptable. So anything on our spirit store is accepted. Any of the club activities like student council and some of those activities will purchase hoodies and jackets, robotics, so those things, and those are acceptable to wear on campus as well. Band, any of those activities that purchase hoodies, those ones that have been approved by the school, those may be worn on campus and in the classroom. Other items that are considered a distraction are things like cat ears and tails and fidget spinners and some of those things, like I said, again, just to make sure the focus is on the learning. And the uniform store has two different types of options for material for the polos. This one I have here is a dry fit, a little bit more expensive, but holds up really well. Doesn't stain as well. The color really stays strong throughout, and it's kind of cooler to wear. And a lot of students prefer this one, but we do have kind of the standard polo material as well that you can choose from. Also for students that have PE, so for elementary on their PE or martial arts day, they can wear a PE uniform. So there's an athletic shirt, and there's also shorts that say Pinecrest. It's the kind of like a dry fit material as well for the shorts, but those can be picked up at the uniform store. So any day your child has PE or martial arts in elementary, they can wear it all day. For secondary, if they are enrolled in a PE class, they will dress out. So they will go to the locker room, they will change clothes into their PE uniform on the days when they have PE. All right, and this year, secondary students will have ID lanyards. This is really just to help increase our safety, security, being able to enforce where students need to be, and making sure that students aren't wandering campus, that they aren't, that they're accounted for at all times. So they will have an ID lanyard, and that will also be for after school activities and things like that. But they will be given different stickers to signify where they are. If they're a student driver, we can see that they're approved to leave campus and go to their car and leave campus. If they are in Fusion before or after school care, we can see that they've already registered and are a part of Fusion, and that way we know to send them there. Same with walkers. Leaving campus. So at the end of the day, we have secondary students that are registered as walkers. We want to make sure our staff can check them as they're leaving campus, check their lanyard, make sure that they're approved to walk off campus. And same for after school activities and sports. If they're asking to stay on campus because they have basketball practice, we want to make sure to verify that. Again, that is for student safety, but that will be basically part of the uniform requirement for secondary students. And there's the address for all uniform wear. It's at Warm Springs, basically the corner of Warm Springs and Stephanie. And so I don't know their hours offhand. I think they're open pretty late. I think 5 or 6 maybe. You can call and get hours, and they also periodically post some coupons as well. You can keep an eye out for those. All right, and supply list. We do have our supply list posted for elementary on our website. So if you go on our website, you can see, and it's specific for grade level, and you can see what items you need for supplies. Those can be brought to our Meet the Teacher. We will be having Meet the Teacher the Friday before school starts, and you can drop them off then. That way you can help your child get them all to their class, and they don't have to carry it all on the first day of school. But you can also bring on the first day of school. If you're unable to attend Meet the Teacher, they can bring those supplies on day 1. And secondary will be available on the course syllabus for each class. Also at Meet the Teacher, they will receive a syllabus for their class. It will have supplies, the supplies needed. Secondary supplies vary depending on what classes they're in. So it's hard to post those because depending on what their schedule is, they're going to have a different list of supplies. Really though, those aren't required for the first week or so of school. Really, if you give them a backpack, a lunchbox, if they're bringing their lunch, maybe a binder and paper and dividers and pencils and pens, they're good to go to start school. And then that when they get their syllabus for each class, then you can start to see, okay, I have this class needs these specific items, and go pick those up. But again, those aren't required on day 1. Just get the basics to get started. All right, lockers for secondary. I'm gonna hand it over to Ms. Duran.
All right, so lockers for secondary, very exciting for a lot of our incoming 6th graders. Yes, you can rent a lock and a locker for $10 for the entire school year. So these are school issued combination locks that will only be permitted on lockers. Anything other than a school issued lock will be cut off the locker. We also assume no responsibility for any loss of personal items, school items, any valuables in that locker. We really encourage students to not bring anything to school that they would be very upset with if they lost it. We do reserve the right to search lockers at any point in time. And students are solely responsible for the contents of their lockers and should not share their lockers with any other students. This is something that we really try to teach and instill in our students in middle school so that they aren't even sharing these locker combinations, as some students might make the wrong choice. Decorating the inside of these lockers, very exciting. You might see these locker items inside the Target aisles or Walmart, but making sure that there's no decorations on the outside of the lockers, no stickers or anything that would leave a mark. We would have to charge for any damage to those lockers. But some other options that we can put out there are magnetic mirrors, magnets, or sticky tack. And you can kind of go searching in those school supply aisles for some fun items. And then for locker help, please reach out to Joy Coffer. She's amazing. She is our banker here at Pinecrest, and she will help you get situated with your locker form, and she will make sure that you have that fee paid. All right, go ahead, Ms. Satori. Turning it over to Mr. Savarese.
Hello, everybody. Just a quick reminder, I'm Ed Savarese. I'm the assistant principal for 3rd through 5th. Please excuse my voice, it's a little hoarse today. To go through lunch, hot lunch availability is going to be free again this year to all families. We do encourage families to speak with the child and make sure that they know if they're going to be receiving hot lunch or not. This way, we're able to make sure the lunch counts are accurate. 20 minutes lunchtime is available to elementary students with a 10-minute recess, either before or after lunch. This is in addition to the recess that students will receive later on or earlier in the day. Classes will have the snack time as well. So when we look at our lunch times, if you notice that your kiddo has a lunch later in the afternoon, don't worry, they will have plenty of opportunity to have a nutrition snack break earlier. 20-minute lunch for secondary as well, with a 5-minute passing both before and after to help limit any students from being tardy. I'm going to pass it over to Mr. Zarnecki.
All right, again, my name is Mrs. Zarnecki. I am the K2 assistant principal in elementary. We utilize a car loop at our campus for drop off and pickup. And it is the way to keep all of our students safe, to get them to school and then home to you. There is some etiquette that we ask that all parents utilizing our car loop follow. We ask that when you enter car loop, you stay in your lane. We use a computer system where each of our families will receive a car loop number that is entered into our system, which then is displayed in your child's classroom. If you decide that one lane looks a little bit shorter and you switch lanes, your child will not go to the correct spot. And it will take us a little bit longer to get them to you to leave campus and go home. So we ask that when you enter car loop, you please do stay in your lane. Also, drivers must remain in their car at all times. So, and we also ask that once we have another slide, I think, that will post our times. There's no reason that you need to get here early. You might have heard some of our families, they try to get here an hour and a half early. There's no need to do that. Just come right at our car loop time. And if you do come a little bit early, please do not park your car and walk into the office, because there are some times where cars need to be moved and we're looking for drivers of cars. So you must remain with your car at all times. Also, students must be able to secure their own car seat and seatbelt. So especially our new kindergarten families, that is a skill to practice this summer. Our car loop just moves. You'll see how efficient and quick it is. But when we enter students into the car, we ask that you do not get out of your car to help your child into the car. Students should be able to get into their seat and secure their own car seat or car seat belt. If they are unable to do that, we will ask that you continue through car loop and maybe pull over after you exit the car loop to secure them in your seat. We do have plenty of staff out on site that will help open those car doors if they need help. But for your safety, and as well as the safety of our staff, we ask that you stay in your vehicle. Do not get out to help them in. No smoking of any kind is allowed in our car loop, including vaping. No loud music or profanity we ask for as well. Cell phone usage. I know you're in that car loop and sometimes it may be at 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Please stay off of your cell phone at all times and be aware of what's happening. Once you experience car loop, you'll see that it is very quick. There's lots of moving parts, and we do not want to have any accidents that are because somebody is answering a cell phone text or phone call. Please stay off of your cell phones while in car loop. When you pull up to your spot in car loop, we also ask that you put your car in park to unload and to load. Many times we have seen that sometimes cars, we tend to roll if you forget to put that car in park. And again, we have students walking in between cars, and we want to keep all of our students and staff safe. So as soon as you get to the point, we will have staff out there directing you. They'll tell you to stop. And then what they'll do, we'll have put that car into park and then wait for our staff to tell you to unload, and also wait for your staff to tell you to load. A lot of times at pickup, your children, you'll see them on the sidewalk and you'll wave at them to come to you, but we ask our students to wait for the adults and the staff who is out on car loop duty to let them know that they can go safely to their cars. So sometimes that becomes a little bit of a distraction, and you might think your child might not be listening to you, but they're actually following the directions of our staff, needing to stay on that sidewalk and following the directions. And follow all staff directions at all times. Sometimes our staff will ask you to pull over. If a student is not out yet, again, we try to keep it very efficient and keep it moving. So sometimes we have some students who might be taking a little bit longer. We'll ask you to pull over to the side and to wait for your children. And again, the goal of car loop and the reason for our car loop etiquette is to keep all of our students and staff safe. So we have plenty of staff out there. The first couple days, we're getting used to the system, so don't get frustrated. We have a lot of new families that are getting used to how quickly it rolls. So those first couple of days may take a little bit longer. Hang in there. It really is a quick and efficient process. And the best way to get our kids home. You'll see our car loop map here. So our car loop entry is going to be over on the side over here off of Dale. So you can follow those arrows. So there will be 2 lanes. It actually wraps around the secondary student parking lot. It'll wrap around the building. So you'll be on a lane that is running parallel to Volunteer. You'll make a turn and around to Chaparral. For elementary, all of our zones for pickup are on the Chaparral side of the street. If you visited the school, you will see the zones marked on our building. Zones 1, Zone 2, Zone 3, and Zone 4. Secondary does run a little bit differently. And do we have a slide for that, or would you?
We do. We actually have a few different maps to show
Okay,
our new families
awesome.
on the next couple of pages.
Wonderful. So secondary runs a little bit different, but again, you're going to be traveling around the entire school. So it is a big loop for, again, our big campus and all of our students. And again, you'll stay in your car. No need to get out of your car. Let our staff handle all of that for you.
All right,
Mr.
so again,
Shepherd?
just to go through some of those procedures. Arrival procedures, students are expected to be able to start arriving at 8:00 a.m. If you arrive before 8 a.m., there is going to be Fusion Care, but there is a fee associated with that. So for any questions or information related to those fees, please look up at fusionsportsleague.com to be able to find the most up-to-date information. Car loop must enter through Dale Avenue, just like the previous map showed, and we do have another one coming up shortly. There is no additional access from Volunteer. You'll see that there is a closed gate that is a fire access gate only. You'll circle through around Volunteer, around the student parking lot, past secondary and up to elementary. Now, for student drop off in the morning, it is quick. It's about 15 to 20 seconds per round. So again, once you get here, it may look like you're at the back of the line thinking that it's going to be quite a while to get through. It moves quick. Think of a giant roller coaster. Moves forward, kids get out, they get immediately to the sidewalk, and then cars move forward, and it just continues this process over and over. Pre-K does have a separate car loop, and again, on the next slide, there's going to be a map to kind of show this. This is going to be in the elementary parking lot. Once they come in, you would skim around the inside perimeter and you'd be able to drop off your pre-K students right at the gate by pre-K. Car loop does close at about 8:25. There are exceptions to these, such as if there's construction or accidents nearby, and this will be communicated out to families as B, and students will not be penalized for any issues or reasons that car loop may be running. We also have opening ceremonies a couple of days during the week. Mondays and Fridays on the blacktop. Once students are dropped off during car loop, they'll be able to go outside and immediately start playing, get some of that energy out, see their friends, mingle a little bit. Families are welcome to attend opening ceremonies this year, but you must park in the front parking lot for elementary. Parents would then have to walk along the sidewalk to the side of the gate to check in and walk in through that way. And then once opening ceremonies are done, as soon as students start leaving to go to class, we will ask parents to please exit the playground area and head back to their vehicles. Positive Pirate Awards and celebrations are done on Mondays and Fridays, depending on which celebration and how many we have lined up. And this is an awesome way to recognize our sports teams, our achievements for our students on testing and on hard achievement work, and to celebrate our students who are just standing up to be great pirate citizens and really exemplify what it means to be at Sloan Canyon. On Tuesdays through Thursdays, students, instead of coming out to the playground, will exit a car loop and go immediately to class. Once they get to class, they'll be able to work on blended learning, get help on homework questions that they might not have understood, or just be able to get some extra time with the teacher. That will be again Tuesday through Thursday, and that runs from beginning of car loop drop off to 8:30. So again, we see another map that kind of shows exactly what we were looking at. You would enter onto Dale Avenue. There are 2 lanes. If you're coming from the west, which is the top part of the map, you would be able to turn into the right-hand lane. And if you're coming from where the elementary side of the building is, you would enter onto the left. You would follow that traffic around. Again, we ask you to please make sure you do not change lanes for both dismissal in the morning and for pickup. This does really offset. We wouldn't think it, but it will throw the numbers and where the students are waiting off by a significant amount. So you would follow through, drive around, go past Volunteer, and then drop your kiddos off over by Chaparral and then exit on a Chaparral. Now, we do ask that parents, when you do leave our premises, once you get over to that exit, it goes down to 1 lane, it zippers together. We do ask that you please take the path of least resistance. You may want to go to Volunteer. However, traffic may be backed up for some reason. We would then ask for you to please make the left. We understand that this may be a little bit out of your way, but if we clog up the exit of car loop, that does stall and stop car loop altogether. So again, please take the path of least resistance. Dismissal procedures are very similar. You would enter onto the premises from Dale, and again, we'll have the map again in a moment. Car loop tags will be provided to you during Meet the Teacher. It is important that if you have not finished filling out your registration information and your registration paperwork, that you do so in order to receive that car loop tag. That car loop tag, it'll come in a paper-sized section with 4 separate tags. Anybody who has one of those tags or a photo of that tag has permission to pick up your child. So please only share it with people who you know will routinely and on a regular basis be picking up your child. If something happens that you lose a tag or you no longer need it, somebody should not have access to that tag anymore, please make sure you notify us immediately so that we can reissue a new number. Because again, anyone with a picture of that tag has permission to pick up your child. As you go through car loop, and you start to go around the student parking lot, we will have a couple of instructional aides out there that will be inputting your car loop tags. That then sends a notification to the classroom and your student will see what zone they're supposed to go to. And just like Ms. Zarnecki said, this is why it's so important to not change lanes. That system knows timing wise where about you should be within a 3-car range. So again, please have a conversation with your student to pay attention. This way they're looking for your car, because once you pull up and we stop all traffic, our staff will make the announcement to students to please walk out in there to the cars and get locked in. They'll get into the car. It takes about 30 seconds per 30 to 40 cars. It is a quick process. But again, showing up early does not speed it up, and not paying attention slows it down. Once you go through, you'll exit out, just like we talked about before, at the main entrance. You'll be able to take the path of least resistance again. We also ask the parents that are picking up their pre-K students, please use the parking lot again. You'll turn in, navigate around the interior of the parking lot, pick up the kiddos over by the playground gate, and you'll be able to exit as well.
And pre-K as well does have their own tags. So if you're in pre-K, they will distribute those to you. So anyone entering the main parking lot, there is staff there to make sure that you have a tag, whether it's pre-K, whether it's special circumstances, handicap parking. To enter the main lot, you will have to have an approved tag.
Correct. And we do ask parents to understand that we're not dismissing students from the main office. The only way to pick up your students will be to go through Car Loop. It is the safest and most secure way to pick up elementary students. So any students K through 5 must be picked up. They are not permitted to be walkers.
All right, going ahead and getting started with secondary arrival procedures. So arrival begins at 7 a.m. Students arriving before 7 will report to Fusion for a fee. So make sure you reach out to Fusion if you're looking for childcare before 7 o'clock. Doors to the building will be opened up at 7:10. So what is your child doing between 7 and 7:10? They're actually getting that socialization time that they really, really desire. So that'll be out on the courtyard where they'll be able to interact with friends, and we'll have instructional aides out there monitoring and making sure students are safe. Doors will open up at 7:10. And please, please, please make sure that we are not dropping off in those surrounding areas. It is very dangerous. We don't have a lot of crosswalks around the school. So we want to make sure that we're doing that through Car Loop as much as possible. Car Loop closes at 7:25. Any students that are dropped off past 7:25 will need to be dropped off in the main parking lot and will have to walk to the secondary building. So we encourage everyone to make sure that they're on time so that they don't have to take a longer walk. All right, dismissal, very similar as well. You must enter through Dale Avenue, and I will show a map on the next upcoming page. You'll go around that student parking lot, and you will be picked up through Car Loop with your Car Loop tag. So same process that elementary utilizes as well. Car Loop tags will be given out at Meet the Teacher in the multi-purpose room for middle and high school. And walkers will actually leave 5 minutes early at the beginning of Car Loop this year, and you will need to fill out a walker form if this is something that you are interested in. And this is truly for students that are living in the surrounding areas and can have a safe path to walk home. So please make sure that if you're filling out that walker form, that you have a safe way of your child getting home, especially because of our community and the area that we're living in. There's a lot of high traffic zones of just high speeds, especially on Volunteer. We see those cars zip through there every day, and we think about our students as they leave campus and their safety. Student drivers who have a student driver pass will leave at the beginning of Car Loop, and they may enter one of the loops, and then they'll be dismissed with the rest of Car Loop. All right, so here we have our secondary arrival map. This is after 7 o'clock. Before 7 o'clock, you will have Fusion, and we do have a map on that as well. But after 7 o'clock, the red lines are showing you how to enter Car Loop. And then we also have a path for our students who are siblings. If you have a sibling in elementary and in secondary, we do have those yellow lines showing you exactly how they'll walk through campus and have access to enter the campus. And then our new lines for walkers, we have a new walker path. We're very excited about it. They're going to be entering from that chaparral, entering across the crosswalk. Well, we'll have a security guard ready to have those walkers safely across the Car Loop, and then all the way into our courtyard. And then for dismissal, we will have a similar pathway for our walkers, where you can see that they're walking from the courtyard and then crossing safely at that crosswalk with our security guard, and then off to chaparral. All right, turning it over to Miss Zarnecki.
All right, so we have our teachers have put together their daily schedules. These are the schedules for kindergarten through second grade. Again, these schedules may adjust a little bit as kids come back to campus and classes get into their daily routines. So you can take a look there at kindergarten. They start the day with morning circle, whole group reading, writing, lunchtime, a read aloud time, math, specials, which we'll talk about a little bit later. They do go out for a snack and afternoon break. Kindergarten does have their own special playground. They transition over to the big playground probably fourth quarter, but they do have a separate playground just for them. Science, and then Sloan Hour is the time of the day where we do our small group instruction. So that's the time of the day where students are working on their blended learning, or teachers are pulling those small groups. And then Carloop is at the end of the day. For first grade, schedule is just a little bit different. Again, every grade level has adjusted their schedule a little bit. They're starting with reading, their Sloan Hour, writing, lunch, math. Intervention is kind of an extension of math where they can pull some small groups for math, a snack break, specials, read aloud, and science. And then for second grade, they are going to start their day this year with math, going to specials, taking a morning break. They're going to have a large block there of reading and Sloan Hour with their small groups. Their lunchtime is going to be at 12:30. That's why we've given them that snack break in the morning. So please be sure all kids eat a good breakfast in the morning. Science, writing, intervention, and read aloud time right before the end of the day. So that is what the daily schedules look like for kindergarten through second grade. Teachers will be sending those home. They'll be giving you information about the day. And again, if things change or things happen, that your child's teacher will communicate that home to you as well. Mr. Savarese.
All right, and before you see the schedule for 3 through 5 for the upcoming year, again, this is subject to change once students come back and teachers are able to see where they might need to focus a little bit of extra time. We too have Sloan Hour, math, break, little nutrition break with recess, interventions, writing, ELA, lunch, and ELA once again. So third grade is like that unique one where in order to maximize their time, they need to split it across. Then science, specials, and Carloop. Fourth grade will follow a similar schedule. They will do reading in the morning and math a little bit later in the afternoon. And then fifth grade as well will have a nutrition and recess break, followed by writing, specials, science, lunch, math, Sloan Hour, and Carloop. You'll notice that fifth grade doesn't have a separate intervention block, and that's just simply because we've combined their intervention block with their Sloan Hour so that it's an all-in-one service. It's when they'll be able to do differentiation to support students in both ELA and math during that time.
Right. So our elementary students do have a specials block each day. It is a 50-minute block when this is the schedule or the specials for K4. And we'll talk about that in just a minute, what fifth grades looks like. It is a 5-day rotation, and students get a chance to visit music, art, PE, Spanish, and martial arts. Again, as Mrs. Satori said, on PE and martial arts days, those are the days where your students can wear that PE uniform or the shorts and the t-shirt to school all day. In elementary, we do not have them change clothes throughout the day. They can actually in elementary wear that all day long. Your teachers will send home a rotation for you. It is also available on Infinite Campus. So you will see each day coded as an A, B, C, D, or E day. Now, it is not, for example, every Monday is A day. Our specialists like to see every group of children the same amount of times, and we do have a lot of holidays and days off that are usually on Mondays. So to avoid certain grade levels and classes missing a particular special, that does change throughout the year. So we we keep rotating. We don't skip days of the week. So you'll see if we have a holiday, it will be the next letter in line. We don't skip it. So you'll, to your child's teacher will send that home to you so that you know what is expected each day. For fifth grade, their rotation looks a little bit different as well, because students who are doing conservatory for fifth grade, they will be doing that all 5 days, and that does replace specials. So for fifth grade, they will have art, they'll have PE 2 times per rotation, Spanish, and martial arts. So theirs does look a little bit different because that music component is replaced by conservatory. We will note too, in third grade, we do have 6 classes. So one of those classes will be splitting up and joining the other 5 classes, but teachers will communicate home to you again what days of the week your child has each special. And just another side note, specialist supply list will be posted to our website soon. They're kind of taking inventory of supplies that they still have, and those will be added within the next week.
All right, so on to vaccinations. Per Nevada state law, all students must be up to date in all of their required vaccinations, and they must produce a copy of this immunization record prior to the first day of school. If your children have been receiving their immunizations within the state of Nevada, those records are updated to the Department of Health for the state and are automatically transferred along to us. However, if we are missing any of those, or if any vaccinations were done outside of the state, you may have to reach out to us. In those events, please reach out to Miss May Baltazar, our FASA, for further information. She'll be able to provide you a list of those required vaccinations, as well as any required documentation you need.
So attendance is very important. It's directly related to your child's achievement. We just went to a different, can you go back, Brittany or Lisa? We skipped to
I know,
to
I'm
the-
sorry. I was trying to click back one.
Okay.
1 second.
So we follow the Nevada state laws for attendance, exactly. One thing that's new this year is that if a student in secondary has too many tardies or absences, they may have some consequences where they can't do extracurricular activities or specials such as assemblies or dances. That could be one of the consequences for too many absences or tardies. So for attendance, since Carloop closes at 7:25 and elementary at 8:25, students will be marked tardy if they're not in their seats 5 minutes later, 7:30 and 8:30. However, if Carloop goes over, I don't want you guys to panic because we will judge that 5 minutes by whenever Carloop ends. So we can adjust that. So that's our guide, but if there's an unusual day, don't worry about your students being marked tardy when it's not their fault, because we do not do that. So if they are tardy, the student must be checked into the appropriate front office, elementary at the elementary office, middle school and high school over in the secondary office. There's a concierge pad where you automatically log them in and they get a pass to class from there. If someone is absent, we want you to enter that onto our website on the main page. There is a button you can click and you can submit an absence. That's kind of in place of the old-fashioned notes you used to send to school. That takes the place of that. So you do that online. And if you need help with that, you can contact Sloan Attendance. We have that as one of our websites. So after you enter them on the online, our attendance clerk will mark them as an excused absence. So it's still an absence, but it's excused. You have to do that within 3 days of the absence. Okay, so you have 3 days to do that. A doctor's note is required for excused absences or early dismissals. If you have questions on that, you can email Sloan Attendance or Sloan Info, and we will explain and, work with you on that. If you have a planned absence, for example, vacations, teams, tournaments, We have a pre-arranged absence form in the main page of our website, and also there's some located in the front offices. So here's kind of an overview of the rules. If a student has 5 unexcused absences, that should say, we will probably contact you for some kind of a conference to see what was going on, to make sure that you realize it and to try to intervene and come up with a plan so it doesn't continue happening. At 10 unexcused absences, a student can be restricted from field trips and all extracurricular activities, the kinds of things that I already mentioned. And again, if you have questions, please let me know. At 15 absences, we will have a conference with one of the administrators to try to brainstorm and correct. And there is the Sloan attendance website down there for any questions regarding this, whether it's now ahead of time or in the future. And now I don't know who you're going to run.
All right, jumping into the secondary bell schedule. So you'll notice that previously we were on a block schedule, and that might still be on the website if you've taken a look, but we are switching back to a 7-period day. We're very excited. Our teachers are excited about it, to see those kids every single day for about 50 minutes. So middle school has the same schedule every single day. And our 6th graders will actually be eating in the elementary multi-purpose room, while our 7th and 8th graders are eating in the multi-purpose room for middle and high school. And then high school is actually going to have lunch A or B. So depending on your lunch, that will be your schedule, and your lunch will be indicated on Infinite Campus on your schedule.
Okay, before and after school care, we are really proud to be able to offer those supports for you so that you can drop off from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. So that way you can coordinate your before and after school schedule. Students not picked up at the end of Carloop, though, will automatically be sent to Fusion, and the rates will apply. So if they're not picked up during Carloop, whether you have registered for Fusion or not, we do send them to Fusion, and you're responsible for paying those fees. We do, if you know that you will be utilizing Fusion, you need to go on and register for them now. They will be sending out information to families. They also are on our website. So you need to do that registration now before school starts. Get your child registered, get that all set up, and then pay for those days you'll be utilizing. Pre-K may utilize Fusion. So if you have a pre-K student, you are also allowed to register your child for Fusion before and after school. Athletes may utilize Fusion for before and after practice. So if they have a gap of time after school and before their practice starts, you can sign them up to Fusion. So that way you don't have to try to get them back and forth. They can stay on campus with Fusion. And again, those Fusion rates, they are a separate entity from our campus, so they're their own organization. So they communicate the rates, and if there's any changes to rates, that all takes place through Fusion. There is a registration fee for Fusion, which is $25 per, I believe it's per student. I don't know if it's per student or per family. But there's also a $25 registration fee for athletes, and we split those. So families just utilizing Fusion could just pay that registration fee. If you're utilizing athletics and Fusion, then you would pay both registration fees, but that allows it to be split up for what you need for each of your children. Please communicate with your child how they'll be getting home daily, because that is a big deal when we have students on campus and they can't communicate to us where they're going, or if they get called to Carloop, but we don't see your car there, and they don't know how they're getting home. It really helps if you tell your child every day, I will be picking you up today, or you're going to Fusion today. That way they know what to do. They know to head straight down to Fusion. It just really helps us with that, keeping them safe and getting them where they need to go. Sibling care, one thing that we do offer, it really helps with convenience for families, because we know so many of our families have multiple students that are in elementary and secondary, and those have 2 separate start and end times. So instead of you having to go through Carloop 4 times, we offer sibling care. So this year we offered it through our staff last year, just kind of trying it, see how it would go. It does pull a lot of our staffing from the classroom. And so this year we were putting it with Fusion. So Fusion will be taking care of our sibling care. They have their own staffing to take care of it. They do a great job. They do a lot of great things with the kids. So if you plan to use sibling care, which means you plan to drop off your elementary and secondary child at the same time in the morning, and then your elementary child would go to sibling care in the morning. Then at the end of the day, your secondary student would get out first. They would go to sibling care, and then you could go through one loop during elementary in the afternoon. So again, minimizes your amount of time in car loop that you can pick up your kids at the same times. But you do need to go online and complete the intent form through Fusion that you plan to utilize it. But if they're not signed up for this form or not picked up at the end of car loop, they will be sent to Fusion. So you need to sign them up so they know that that's where they're at, because there is a different fee for sibling care. There is a reduced fee for our sibling care because it's only for that. It is specific to that car loop time. So, and we are offering that at a reduced rate to help you with car loop. So, so you do need to, again, sign up for it. Before school care will be for elementary children. So it's only elementary students in there in the mornings, and that is from 7 to 8. So again, you can drop your students off at the same time. It will be in the elementary building. They can be dropped off together. Your secondary student can walk your elementary student, particularly in the beginning when they're learning where to go. Your secondary student can walk them over to the elementary MP room, and we'll have staff helping them to make sure they know where to go. But they can walk them over until they get the hang of it, particularly some of our kindergartners, so that the secondary student can help and make sure they know, get them checked in every day. And then after school care will be for secondary students with elementary siblings, and students will go straight from car loop to Fusion once their name appears on silent dismissal. So they will head straight to Fusion, and they will stay there until that elementary loop time. And then both of your, all of your kids will come out at the same time. Your elementary and secondary will come out in the same loop for you. You don't have to do it separately. Now, I really wanted to keep the cost down for this. That was one thing that I met with on Fusion about, is, like I said, we really want it to be a service that is utilized and not cost exhaustive. So it is only $2 per day, and that includes before and after school care, and it includes all of your students. So it's not $2 per student, it's $2 per family, and that includes before and after. So I mean, if you think about it, you're paying, if you're utilizing before and after, it's $1 for each for all of your kids. So if you have five kids, you're paying $2 for that entire day for all 5 kids before and after school. So, and then if you only choose to utilize it for certain days, that is completely okay. You may only need it on Mondays and Fridays, and you can sign up and register for those days. And you can also utilize Fusion after care on the other days. So there's a lot of options to try to help you coordinate, your schedule. Parents are required to have tags for all children to pick them up. So when you come through to pick all of them up at the same time, you need the tags for all students. All right, and sibling care by Fusion. So when you are coming through for Fusion is like in the morning when you get here, we will start staging where that red arrow is. We start staging cars in the morning about 6:50. We have them pulling up and we start staging them to do secondary arrival. Fusion has its own line, and it will be marked because we have families that are getting there before car loop and they need to just pull through and drop their students off at Fusion. So you will drive through and before car loop starts, and you can drop off for Fusion. That way it gets you in and out and able to get to work before school starts. Same for afterwards, after in the afternoon, once car loop is over, then there's Fusion has that same loop that they do to pick up, and they pick up at the elementary MP room as well. Walker forms. So we are, per the city, we were permitted as a car loop only campus. We do not have adequate parking, unfortunately, in our community. There's just not access off the roads to pull over and park. We also have Amazon and a lot of trucks in industrial area. So we are car loop only. So there's not space to park on the road. It's bike lanes next to our campus, and so there's not places to pull off on the road and walk up to campus or park and have your child walk out. But there are students we know that, are able, secondary students who can walk or within walking distance or within biking distance. And so those do need to be, we will have walker forms, and that is a signed permission form from the office. You can contact Sloan Info for the form. We will also at Meet the Teacher Night have some of those at the front desk. We'll have a collection of a lot of our forms for you to pick up at that event. But walkers will leave campus. Actually, it's at the beginning of dismissal. That's a correction there that we changed this year. But walkers, if they're signed up as a walker and you've signed that form, you have said they have a safe traveling path to get to and from school, they are dismissed as a walker, and they are not waiting around campus for someone to pick them up. They are they are directed off campus and through the crosswalk, which is up by, there's a crosswalk in front of our car loop, and then there's a crosswalk up by volunteers. So we send them that way through the crosswalks. They cannot cross streets in other areas to head where they're needing to head. So they will have to loop if they're heading back a different direction. They're going to have to utilize the crosswalks, and we'll have staffing to make sure that they do that. The intersection at Chaparral and Dale does not have crosswalks. So that is why we are not sending students that direction. And we will not be getting crosswalks because there is not residential area that direction. So I was told by the city, there should not be students walking and picking up and dropping up over there. It also blocks Amazon for their entrance into their facility. So all of our surrounding area right here, there's really nowhere that you can pick up and drop off. And City of Henderson has said that they will need to start enforcing that because it's just an unsafe space. So again, walkers mean that they are leaving campus, they are walking off or biking off. They have signed the permission slip that they're permitted by you to do that. And again, they need to remain on the sidewalks and then the school perimeter. We do have the right to revoke those walker privileges if we see that students are not utilizing them correctly, or if they are not walking to authorized areas.
And specifically, I have a few questions in the chat about elementary walkers. We are not permitting elementary walkers at this time because it is not safe. So we really are only limiting that to secondary students, and secondary students alone will be the ones that are allowed to be walkers.
Correct.
Also, if I could just ask and chime in, the walking expectations are for students being dropped off in the morning as well, not just for dismissal. So they would need to be able to follow their same safe path to school, not only from school.
All right, Ms. Hayes.
Hi, I'm Casey Hayes. I'm the student support advocate. We are going to be talking about elementary sports and activities. We offer a plethora of sports here at Sloan Canyon. You are free to sign up for sports, but we do have some restrictions that come with signing up for sports. We do pay for sports here at Sloan Canyon. There are fees associated with sports. The fees are determined based on the activities. For elementary sports, we do traditionally have a pretty flat rate based fee. Last year, it was a set fee across the board for all of our elementary sports. We are currently working on determining if that's going to be the situation for this year. We're working with our athletic director to determine if that's how we're going to go this year. It can vary depending on the sports, but our fees are pretty standard across the board. We charge a uniform rental fee of $10. Students are expected to return their uniforms after the season. If students do not return their uniforms at the end of the season, it is a $75 fee to replace that uniform. So please make sure you return it. We also have that, like Ms. Satori said, that Fusion Care registration fee of $25 for all athletes. That is a one-time fee that is good for the entirety of the year. So if your student plays a sport in the fall, a sport in the winter, and a sport in the spring, they will only be charged that fee once. Some of the sports that we offer for elementary are volleyball, baseball. When I say baseball, it's not traditional baseball. It's going to be t-ball and coach pitch. So it's for kindergarten through 3rd grade. We do not at this time have anything in the elementary level above 3rd grade. We have soccer for kindergarten through 5th grade in the elementary level. We have cheer for kindergarten through 5th grade in the elementary level. Volleyball is 3rd through 5th grade in the elementary level. Basketball is kindergarten through 5th grade. Flag football is 3rd through 5th grade currently. And martial arts is pretty much, you sign up through an outside club with Miss Rodriguez, and she takes pretty much any grade level because they start in kindergarten here. We have a lot of after school programs. We have robotics, Lego League, junk rope extravaganza, which is run by our fabulous Coach Lacombe. We have National Elementary Honor Society, which is run by some lovely teachers that we have here. And we also are working on an elementary student council this year. We have Fall Festival, which a lot of information will go out in our Pirate Post about that. It's a fabulous event that we have here at our school where all of our families come together. We traditionally do it right around Halloween, usually around the week before Halloween. We try to do it so around the time where everyone can come, and we have vendors here, so we can get food. We have carnival games that help support our teachers. All the money that you pay for those tickets go right to your teachers so they can buy things right back to your students. We have an ornament painting night. We have dances. We are working on dances even for the little ones this year, which is fabulous. For middle school and high school, we have middle school soccer, which is for 6th grade through 8th grade. We have volleyball for 6th through 8th grade. We have cheer for all grades, basketball for all middle school grades, cross country for all grades in middle school, track and field for all grades in middle school, and well as martial arts. For high school, we have girls volleyball, which is a fall sport, cross country, which is a fall sport, cheer, which is an all-year sport for high school, track and field, which is a spring sport for our high schoolers, basketball, which is a winter sport for our high school, flag football, which is a girls-only sport currently for the winter. And we have a dance team that we're starting this year with Miss Lindsay Tim. She is working on trying to make that an all-year sport. She's trying to work on getting it into competitions and make it a competitive level dance team. And we also have martial arts and a lot of other fun activities for your students. And pass it off to Miss Lar.
All right, so we currently have NCAA eligibility, and we have an application submitted to be NIAA because Ms. Satori wants our students to be able to have people come in and maybe get, something for college and have them looked at. So we are working hard on that. We're hoping for that to happen this year. We'll keep working on that until it does happen. We are doing the requirements we need to do for NIAA acceptance. And so you'll know the minute that happens, because we're going to be very excited about that. We have camps, clinics, and many youth sports. And we have a brand new weight room that's going to be utilized for classes and also for the sports teams. Any questions on that, please email me.
I also want to quickly add to Miss Lar that we also offer archery as well.
All right, jumping into secondary activities. So we have a plethora of activities here at Sloan Canyon. If we don't have it, we want it. So that's our motto when it comes to activities. We have robotics, chess club, jump rope club, GSA, BSU, dance club, Asian Pacific Islander club, Dungeons and Dragons, drama club. And one thing that we truly pride ourselves on is, seriously, if we don't have it, we want it. If our students want it, if they're able to find 8 other students that want to have a club or activity, they can just find an advisor and we will start it. All right, another amazing program that we have here at Pinecrest is the conservatory. It was previously mentioned in the 5th grade slide, where students actually are able to have that conservatory option. So when we're talking about a conservatory, we're not talking about the typical conservatory for birds. We're actually talking about a conservatory for music. And specifically, we offer here choir, orchestra, strings, and band, where students are actually trying out these different instruments and are fitted for a specific instrument that they are actually equipped to utilize. And you can see these are previous Performing Arts Center building pictures on the right-hand side. And this previously happened this last year, and we're so excited that those doors are finally open. Our students are able to perform on that beautiful stage that we showed on the update slide, and it's fantastic. We also have career and technical education, better known as CTE. We have EMT, which emergency medical technician, community health, cybersecurity, aviation, and new this year, media communications. Brian Lindemuth is the CTE dual enrollment coordinator. Please feel free to reach out at any point in time if your child is interested in joining the CTE world. All right. Another pathway for students, especially in high school, as they're starting to decide, am I going to be college and career ready, or am I going to go the career route? So we have dual enrollment where students are able to actually get a head start on their higher education. They can earn simultaneously a high school degree and college credits, which is so exciting. Students have actually received associate's degrees before their high school diploma. Course plans are laid out for each student's high school graduation requirements, college placement level, and academic plans for high school and college. And again, Brian Lindemuth would be who you would want to reach out to for. And then we also have AP classes, or better known as advanced placement courses in psychology, history, computer science, and music theory. If you're interested, reach out to our high school counselor, Hannah Small.
Good evening. My name is Chris Lippman. I'm an assistant principal K through 12, and I'll be over all the special programs here at Sloan Canyon, which include 504s, IEPs, the gifted and talented education, as well as ELL, our English language learners. If you have any questions about any of the special programs that we do offer, you can email me there. And just a quick note, as some of you may have already learned, my last name is spelled with 2 T's and 2 N's. And so the email on the screen is, that's the correct spelling. I'll throw it back to Ms. Duran for information on Infinite Campus.
All right, Infinite Campus. This is another way of communicating with your school. We encourage all families to constantly check Infinite Campus for your students' attendance and grades. So online payments can also be made through Infinite Campus for school fees, athletics, field trips, donations, and then grades and attendance as well. And then new user parent portal. So if you are new to Infinite Campus for Pinecrest, this is going to have new user login information. It will be emailed to parents and guardians only. So this won't go to aunt, uncle, grandma, grandpa. This is only going to the parents and guardians that you listed. And this is going to specifically go to the email address that you put on the file closer to the beginning of the school year. New user login setup must be done on a computer only. We've had tons of families do it on their cell phone and get extremely frustrated that they're not able to log in. So make sure that you're doing that on a computer. Families who transfer from another Pinecrest campus will not receive an email. So again, if you are in another Pinecrest campus, you are not going to receive an email, as it's going to be the same Infinite Campus parent portal login. And we will also have an Infinite Campus table at Meet the Teacher. If you're struggling and you need information on how to get logged in, we will have that ready to go. So that way we can make sure that you have access to your child's information.
And as I had mentioned previously, we are proud to offer a pre-K program, and that starts as early as 3 years old. So it's for students prior to entering kindergarten. That is a separate program it is not offered by our school. It is offered by DJ's preschool. So they utilize that space. So that registration must be done through them. Payments are made through them. Like I said, it's a separate entity. They do have their own car loop and everything. And siblings are permitted to utilize pre-K. Students that even are not on our campus may use pre-K and not have students attending our campus as well, because it is separate. Being in pre-K does not guarantee enrollment for the following year. Again, it is a separate program, but there are so many that have siblings in pre-K that we really wanted to be able to offer that, so you could bring all your students to one location. And also we love that they communicate with our kindergarten teachers, so they do help kind of get them ready and know what's needed for kindergarten. Awesome program. I've had my own children in it. They do a great job. So I definitely recommend, if you're looking for a pre-K, bringing your child to our campus as well. Some important upcoming dates. We do have a freshman orientation for our incoming 9th graders. So that will be August 10th from 5 to 8. That is important to come to really understand everything. There's so much to transition to moving into high school. So we definitely want a night just to work with our freshmen and get them prepared. On August 12th, which is that Friday before school starts, is that Meet the Teacher event from 12 to 3. Again, if you're not able to attend, a lot of those things can be done first day of school. If you're not able to attend and pick up car loop tags, you can do those on first day of school. You can also bring supplies first day if you're not able to do that on Meet the Teacher. But we highly recommend coming. It is open house style, so you can kind of just roam campus. If you have multiple children, you can go to all of their classes and meet all of their teachers, get any, all the syllabi that you need for your classes. Usually teachers have some things sitting out, such as curriculum, expectations. You can maybe in elementary be able to see where your child will be sitting. That way they feel comfortable on the first day. And August 15th is our first day of school, and we're so excited to see you. Can't wait. I know that this was a lot of information, but we are providing this recording. We will be posting it, and please understand, we have so many staff that are here. We care about your child and your family. So we will help you navigate. We will help you get it all. You don't have to have it all perfect the first day of school. We will help you, and we're here. We're a family to get it all figured out. Our calendar is also available on our website, so you can look at that now. If you're trying to plan vacations and such, that is all posted and has been board and state approved. We also have been working really hard to get a lot of our events for the year plugged in. So spirit days, spirit weeks, dances, special events that we're going to have, fall festival, all those. We've been working really hard on that calendar because we'd love to post as much ahead of time so that you can plan and know what's upcoming. So we're going to get as much out as we can for the year and try to set as many dates so that you can add those to your calendar from the start. Communication methods. So we have a lot of ways that we work to communicate with our families. One is our website. As there's new documents and information, those are posted on our website. A lot of our emails are posted on there as well. Pirate posts. So we send pirate posts out weekly, and keep an eye out for that. So much of our information comes out in pirate posts, and a lot of the questions we get is in pirate posts. So please look through that. It is separated by elementary and secondary, so that kind of helps you, look at just the information you need. So please keep scrolling through that. Again, on there, we also have emails for registration and attendance and some of those key things that you're often needing. Those are listed in pirate posts as well as the most upcoming dates. We post those. Any other reminders, particularly some car loop things going on, any communication we need to get out is done through pirate posts. Your teachers also as well will be sending out communication. So these are our school-wide communications, but of course your child's teachers will also be communicating as well. As we mentioned, Infinite Campus definitely has a lot of information regarding grades and attendance and schedule and all of those things. So please get those, make sure that you can log in and see those things. Facebook is more of our fun celebration highlights. We love to highlight some of the fun things going on and share celebrations and pictures of events and all those sorts of things. So we have one site that is our official school site. So the Sloan Canyon Family Updates. And so that is our site that is from the school. There are some other ones that others have started, but again, the Family Updates is the official communication from the school. That way, you know that the information you're getting is valid and coming from us. And we also, you can post questions on there. We do have someone that moderates it regularly. So you can post messages to the Facebook as well. And so a lot of times she either shares it with everyone or direct messages you the question very promptly. She does a great job at getting back to our families on Facebook. Same as well with Instagram. Instagram is more for our highlights and pictures and just sharing with you so you can get a glimpse of everything that's going on in our school. We have parent impact meetings. We have those typically quarterly, unless there's something, just a lot of things that we feel like are happening that we need to have an additional parent impact meeting. Sometimes we'll book additional ones, but those are done in this type of format as well, or actually we're doing those in person now. Sorry, during COVID we were doing them all via Zoom, but we have moved now. Right at the end of the year, we moved them to in person again. So that will be the plan for this year, is to have them in person there during the day. However, the Zoom and the slides will be sent out. So if you're not able to attend during the day, then we will send those slides out and have Zoom links as well. We do surveys, regularly surveys our families. We just like to know how you're feeling. You don't have to wait for a survey to come out though, to send us emails and ask questions and let us know any concerns you have or or how things are going great as well. We love to hear both. We love to hear what's going well. We love to hear any concerns you have. And we are very proactive in trying to make adjustments as needed to meet the needs of our families. So please look out for those surveys and fill those out. Please utilize our emails. We're all, open and welcome when you see us on campus or around to come up and talk to us and let us know how things are going. We will be having a parking spot auction. So we did this last year because we have a lot of families that it's a fundraiser for our school. So we utilize the funds for school initiatives and activities. But we have some spots in the front. There are 7 spots, and we had families that were interested in doing an auction to purchase those spots. So the beauty of those is you get to bypass car loop. So you can pull right up in your parking spot and have your child come out. You go to the office and they come right out to you at the parking spot. And also for any events. So for activities, fall festival, concerts, anything, awards assemblies, that's your parking spot, and you don't have to hunt spots and look for them and such. So that will be happening August 8th through 21st. You'll see some information. And again, it's a bid. So each spot could go for a different amount depending on how they bid. All right, we thank you so much for joining us today. Like I said, I know it's so much information, but we are excited to have you on board. Everything will run really smoothly, and we will be here to help you out. And Ms. Duran, did you see it? Was there questions that we needed to hit from the chat?
I have answered all questions in my chat box. If anybody wants
Okay.
to go ahead and ask a question in the chat right now, you can go ahead and do that and direct message me.
Were there any that you saw that we needed to clarify that were answered? I can open it up as well, but were there any that we need to share with the group?
So
that we didn't hit?
kindergarten assessment is, we have not gotten information yet from the state. So in the years past, especially if you have students who have been to our campus before, we have always had our kindergartners come in a little bit early for assessments, but we do not have any information from the state about what kindergarten entry assessment will be given. And so we will conduct those assessments during those first weeks of school.
And Ms. Satori, can I have you go back to the secondary bell schedule? I know we went past that one. I do have some questions in the chat, so everybody can take a picture of that one. We will send out the slides as well, but we'll just go ahead and share that schedule because it is a big one. And then I do see a question for kindergarten. Do we have interviews? I'm not sure. We don't.
I
have
think that was what
kindergarten.
she just asked.
I believe that's the assessment,
Okay,
right?
perfect.
And then I did get a question as well, just about social distancing and masks. Students are free to wear masks. Masks are not required on campus, but if your child would wear a mask, that is perfectly acceptable. And we, in classrooms, we are social distancing. We are no longer under guidelines for social distancing in the classrooms. So again, we disinfect, we clean, we are very careful in keeping everybody sanitized. We have hand sanitizer stations still out and about. But again, we don't have any specific guidelines in place for that.
And then we do have a question in the chat about sibling care. So it is $2 per family. Again, for sibling care, it is $2 per family.
Okay.
And then I do have another one about Fusion. You can go to fusionsportsleague.com for any information about times or fees, and just kind of looking in the differences between sibling care and Fusion itself as well. For the first week or days of kinder, can parents walk their children in? Ms. Zarnecki?
Well, on the first day of school, we will have our morning ceremonies, which is outside on the blacktop area. And we had discussed during our kindergarten information session that is the time where we are going to ask our kindergarten parents and families to say goodbye to their student. Teachers will walk the students in from outside, and we are asking that all of our families say goodbye to their children out on the playground and not enter the building. It's hard for parents. It's a lot harder for parents than it is for our students, but that does give that transition into the classroom, and it makes it a little bit easier for them. to get started for the day. I assure you as a parent myself that if you have a student who's a little nervous or apprehensive and crying, it does make it worse when parents are generally around. They usually stop after they get inside the room, the kindergarten teachers will be asking for volunteers. Usually after the first month or so, they have to get all of those routines and procedures established. PTO is in the process of possibly holding a what they're going to call a boohoo breakfast for our kindergarten parents. And so information will be sent out about that as well. The kindergarten info meeting, it was recorded, but the recording is no longer available. But if you reach out to me by email, I can either give you a phone call or I can share the slideshow presentation with you.
I am just typing in your information into the chat because I am getting a lot of questions about kindergarten and that informational meeting. So I will put Ms. Zarnecki's email in the chat for everyone. I do see a lot of questions about schedules. Schedules will be released on Infinite Campus in the upcoming weeks. We also will have our counselors ready at Meet the Teacher to help you navigate to that schedule, as well as any scheduling questions that you may have. I also have another question about a student being accepted and then you're waiting on a sibling. If you have any questions about the wait list or where your child is with registering, please reach out to Sloan Registration at pinecrestnv.org. I can also put that email in the chat as well. Volunteer questions I see in the chat as well. Volunteers are allowed this year. Fingerprints are needed. So if you are interested in volunteering, yes, fingerprints are required. And that goes for field trips as well.
And
Anybody
your
else?
fingerprints are good for, I believe, 3 years. So once you do them, you do pay for the fingerprinting, but you have it for 3 years.
I have a sports one. I had a parent ask me about 3rd through 5th grade. 3rd through 5th graders, actually 3rd all the way up for sports do have to try out for their sports. We have 3rd through 5th grade has 2 different levels for athletics. They have a competitive level and they have what we call a recreational level. Competitive level and recreational level, they still have games, they still compete against other schools. Competitive level is what it is. It is more competitive, it's for high skill level players, and they have the opportunity to go to championship games and playoffs and things like that. The recreational level, you may try out for the competitive team, you may not make the competitive team, but you can still play the sport on the recreational level and develop your skills, play the sport, play against other schools on the team, and develop your skills. You just wouldn't get to play in possible playoffs and championships. So you wouldn't get quite as many possible games. But just because you're on the competitive team doesn't necessarily mean you'll get playoffs or championships. You just would possibly get that opportunity. So 3rd through 5th grade, yes, you do try out, but that doesn't mean that if you don't make the tryouts, you're not going to be on a team.
There was a question also about martial arts. So that information will be coming out when they offer classes and the fees and such. All elementary students do receive martial arts as a special, so you don't have to sign up for that. It's just if you're wanting to pay for classes outside of the school day, and then also secondary students can take it as elective. They have already done that on their schedule requests. But the outside of the day martial arts, that information will be sent out by them. And it's a question about dry fit for toddlers and younger ones. I know last year they did have smaller sizes in dry fit, so I can follow up to see if they just haven't come in yet, but I know that they did have some small ones for kinder. So, and again, and there was a question about if they're out of stock of things. In the past, we've allowed solid colors of the jackets or the polos. We will communicate if they are at that point. We have been told that they have ordered way back at last September. They ordered a very large shipment of uniforms. Those are rolling in right now. So they anticipate that they'll have enough to supply us. So now that doesn't mean like you might not get the exact color you want. Like if you're looking for a 10-12 black one, they could be out of that, but have it in blue or gray. So only if we're seeing a shortage across the board, we're seeing where there's just on all sizes and colors, there are shortages and they are not maintaining supply, then we would communicate that out if there were other options available. But, for the time being, and as far as from what I've been hearing about shipments coming in and what is already available, it is required through the uniform store for the polos.
And another
And
question
like I said, the
regarding
jackets are through
uniform.
them or through Spirit Store. Mhm.
Another question we had was, can students wear cargo shorts? Cargo shorts are not permitted. We do want that uniform short or uniform pant or uniform skirt that you can locate. And those can be bought at Target, the uniform store. I've even seen Walmart has the uniform pant as well. And then I do see a question for elementary. Are PE uniforms required for elementary students?
They are not required. No, you may wear the PE uniform. They may also just wear their uniform. Make sure though that they have tennis shoes on for their, so they could wear their standard uniform, but they need tennis shoes on PE and martial arts day, well, PE days. They need
And
tennis
to
shoes for
clarify,
sure.
for secondary students will be required to dress out. Again, for secondary students, they will be required to dress out. When we say the word dress out, that means that they are in a PE uniform. So make sure that for your secondary student, you are purchasing that PE uniform.
And on the question of the cargo shorts or pants, yes, it cannot have the pockets down the sides, has to be the uniform style. The jogger style we have permitted though. There are so many of the pants now that have that elastic band. So it's still a slack. It's still the more looser fitting, not the tight fitting style. But if it does have the elastic at the bottom, because that is what a lot of the pants are that are in style now. And that's what is available to find in many cases. So that is acceptable.
And sweatpants.
And you can
are-
always post to our, send an email or post to our Facebook. If you have a picture or in question, feel free to send it to us and we can tell you, yes, that is permitted or not, if you have questions on it.
And sweatpants are.
And
only
on
allowed-
the all uniform wear, as long as the tags are still on it, sorry, I keep thinking of things. As long as the tags are still on it, you can return it. So if for some reason you buy it and then you find that, it's not working or something like that, or the pants just aren't a fit, as long as the tags are still on, you can return it in exchange.
And then I do see a few questions about electives for secondary. If you have not filled out an electives form for your child, or your child has not been able to fill out that form, please feel free to reach out to the counselors that I just dropped in the chat. For middle school, that will be the amazing Taylor Kreider, and for high school, the fabulous Hannah Small. So feel free to reach out to them so that way we can work your child's schedule out for them. I also see, can students wear the plain colored PE shorts? Yes, they can.
Yes. Mhm. It needs
And
to
let me-
be that same style, that athletic style, or sweatpant, but it does not have to have the Pinecrest logo on the short. And then there's also a question about shoes. So there is not color of shoes. There's no requirements on color of shoes. Cannot be open-toed, correct?
Correct,
Yeah,
cannot
it
be open-toed.
Yeah, Crocs are okay.
Yes, Crocs in sport mode, very important. And I do see a question in the chat, how many days a week does a sixth grader have PE? Because we are going back to the 7-period day, that means that students will have math every day, PE every day if it's in their schedule. Depending on what other elective choices they will have, it will be every single day. So they will need to change in and out of their PE uniform when they have PE.
Okay, anything else you all see? Or again, if we missed your question by accident, or you feel we didn't clarify it, please send us an email. We will be answering emails all throughout the start of school. We will also be sending out so much more communication. So particularly the first 2 weeks before school starts in August, we will be sending out a lot through Pirate Post. Your teacher will be sending out a lot of information. We'll be posting a lot on our websites and our Pinecrest Family Updates Facebook page. So please keep an eye out. Again, we'll keep helping you out. So appreciate you all coming. Enjoy the rest of your summer and we will see you soon. Thank you so much. Bye.